Hello everybody. Now in this tutorial we are going to forge further into inserts, and we're going to see how we can insert chart. Now a chart is just a smart way of providing visualization for your data, and sometimes you may be given a research, and after carrying out the research you come up with your data maybe in table format or maybe just raw data, and then you'd like to illustrate that in chart. So we have different types of charts. If you click on chart, excuse me, you see we have sample here, but then when we'll be inserting a chart, then you're going to see all those examples. So the first thing we're going to do is to insert a chart. So if we come to chart and click on chart, you can see we have all different types of charts. We have the column chart, line chart, pie chart, bar chart, area chart, XY chart, scatter charts. Then you have stock, surface, whichever chart you'd like to insert, just straight, and it's almost the same procedure. So what you're going to do here is simply follow along and learn how we can insert the charts. So I'd like to insert first of all chart without any data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a column chart. So click on charts, then I want this clustered column, the first option. I'll just click OK, and then here a chart will be inserted into my Microsoft Office Word document, and as you can see it is referring to the data that is in this Excel file here. Now this is like Microsoft Office Excel, and now we just need to change this data here. For example, I don't want this one to be called series 1, I just want this one to be called like cut 1, for example, for an exam like cut 1. Then I want this one to be called cut 2, and I'd like this one to be called cut 3. Now I want this one to be maybe the names of those people who are undertaking this cut. So we have John, we have Ishmael, we have Abdul Rahman, if I can spell it correctly. Then lastly we have Megan, female, let me be gender sensitive a little bit. We have Anne, and there we go. As you can see from our chart here, we have all these things. Now I can close this, and there we go. We have our chart. We have cut 1. So anytime you see blue, it's being represented by cut 1. Then we have this orange being represented by cut 2, and then we have the gray one being representing. Gray one is representing cut 3. And then we have, these are the results for John, these are the results for Ishmael, these are the results for Abdul Rahman, and then Anne has it this way. You can take this, by the way, and just say you can delete that and just call it like marks, so you can change the title. Apart from that, you can also come to this plus sign here, and then you can add more features on our chart. For example, I can add something like a data table. Just below it, I can add data labels, I can add chart title, which is already there. I can add axis table. Like now if I do that, you see we have an axis title here. Now I can say these are marks, and then rather than having this, I can say these are students, and then say those are marks. Okay, I think I just moved that. Let me reinsert that again. So and just say these are students, and then on this other axis I want to say that these are marks, like that. So you can add more features by coming to that plus sign. Now if you want to add like more art, you can come to this paintbrush here, and then you can choose which type of art maybe makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. So I think it's just fine the way it is, but if you'd like to use things like that, outlined formats, or maybe these other formats which are contained, whichever the case, it's just fine. if you want to use like this one, which looks a little bit pale, if you want to use this one which looks like it is striated somehow, still fine, no problem. Then you can also sort, and you can do a lot of things with this. You can either sort with everything is checked here, so I don't think if there's anything I'd like to apply any further because everything is already there. You can go ahead and try all these. Now that was inserting a chart without data, but now I want to insert a chart from data that I already have in a table. So the first thing I want to do is, let me just close this pen here, and now I want to insert chart with the data. So the first thing I want to do is to create a table, so just a simple table like that, and I want to repeat what I just had. I had cut 1, I had cut 2, then I had cut 3, then I had John here. Sorry, and if I can use the correct case, John was the other one. Okay, let me just use something like Caleb, Caleb, and then Abdul Rahman, something like that. You can just delete this, right click, and then delete the column. Fine. Now let me give them values. For example, cut 1, this one had an average of maybe 75.6 points, cut 2 maybe 71.2 points, and then this one 23.56 points. And then I just want to guess these figures very quickly, so let me just enter this very fast so that we can focus on the details. Fine. So now that we have our data, the first thing we are going to do is to select our data. There are two ways of selecting data. One, I can use this arrow that faces downward, that points downwards, or I can use this arrow that points slightly like in a diagonal, something like that. But I can also I can do like that. I've highlighted the entire table, but I can use columns, by the way, by selecting all the columns there where I've selected the entire table. Excuse. Or I can still just click on this plus sign here. This little icon looks like a plus sign, and I still have highlighted the entire table. And now what I want to do is I want to go home, and then I want to copy that, or simply Control C to copy that, and then make sure that this cursor is outside the table. Otherwise, the the chart that you'll be inserting will be inserted inside your table. That's not something you'd like to do. And that's something that a lot of learners have a problem on. They just leave something like the cursor inside the table like that, and then they go ahead to insert a chart, and then they find out that the chart is part of the table and they don't know what has happened. So just make sure that the cursor is outside the table before you insert the chart. Now after that, I'd like to click on chart, and I want to insert this column chart still. So and that is what I want. And now I want to delete all this data that is already provided in this Excel file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight everything here, and then I'm going to press delete key, the key written on delete, to do away with the data. And then I want to paste in my data, so I can right click there, and then I'll paste in my data. Just paste it like that. Oh, and then it's going to tell me that the data you are pasting is in the same size as your selection. Why? Because I've selected like 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then by 1 2 3 4, and then the data that I have is not 6, it is around 4 rows. 1 2 3 4 is around up to this row number 4. So it is claiming that the data that I have has only 4 rows and 1 2 3 4 and 4 columns, but then whatever I've selected is 6. So what should I do? I just tell it okay, fine, use your common sense, and just click OK, and then it will put everything in there. But then you're going to realize something like these lines are way out of my selection. So what I'm going to do is come to these little corners here, and then try to push these lines back like that. And now I can close this file, and there we go. We have our chart. It's outside the table. If the cursor was there and then we try to insert the same way we did and try to insert a chart, then we'll find out that our chart will be inside the table. You see, we'll get something like this. You'll get something like this. This is not something that anybody desires to get, so that's not what we intend to do, but actually we want our chart to be outside the table like that. You can follow the same procedure to insert any other chart, whether it's a line chart, whether it is a pie chart, whichever chart you'd like to insert. Just make sure that the data that you are providing is in the correct format and in the correct form. Otherwise, it may give you something which is not what you intend to find or to get. So actually, that's it with inserting charts. I'd like to stop there with charts. If you found this video helpful to you, or maybe if you find it helpful to somebody else, you can share with that person, or you can simply help me by liking this video, subscribing to this channel so that you can be part of this channel, and also hit that bell icon so that next time I add more videos you will be notified. Thank you.